Kyler Murray, I think this is last year with the Arizona Cardinals, and I think that he's probably a Steeler next year. Just go ahead and put that. Remember when I was trying to plant the seed that Cliff Kingsbury was prematurely on the hot seat? I'm good at long-term Cardinals predictions, oddly.
And this peg in Pittsburgh, they just recycle quarterbacks every season.
That's exactly.
Forever.
Yeah, that's
forever.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, and Kyler sounds good there. All right. Speaking of Pittsburgh, their current quarterback right next to him, Michael Penix. To me, he might. I know he's not a rookie, but it feels somewhat like this is a rookie season. Obviously, for J.J. McCarthy, it feels just like his rookie season. Cam Ward, it is his rookie season. And then in the middle, Bryce and Justin Fields. For Bryce, he needs this year to not just be, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Seriously, for him, he needs to actually show that there was real, forget being number 1 overall pick, just first round quarterback. And Justin Fields, by the way, similar situation. And so they're the bottom row. Row 6. I tried it as hard as I could. To get, and again, it's not left to right. It just happens to be that Caleb's the first person mentioned here. It's not left to right, guys. I really tried to get Caleb
it might
up
be left
above.
to right with Drake Maye.
No, it's ahead of Trevor. That should prove it's not left to right having Drake Maye ahead of Trevor. And honest to God, first edition of Mahomes Mountain, I did have Caleb a row higher, but then I decided I don't want to just have to argue with you guys all day about it, so I'm just going to leave him where he is.
Fair.
Drake May, Bo Nix, these are all year 2 guys. Trevor Lawrence, it's his second ever healthy year, so he's essentially a year 2 guy. Tua Tagovailoa and Wilds guy Sam Darnold, who I also, again, not left to right, but oddly enough, I did debate Kyler versus Darnold. Again, not left to right.
Not left to right.
All right, top 15 quarterbacks in the league, row 5. Justin Herbert, or as Danny Parkins calls him, the second coming of Dan Marino, and a clearly top 5 quarterback in the league. Jordan Love, Bruce X, is that fair? Used to be your guy, now you're more of a J No guy. I feel like
X is fair. I mean, we're still cool. We're still cool. I pulled
it was on good terms. We're still friends.
We're still cool.
Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, my guy, and Brew's real guy, Brock Purdy. Those guys, to me, are all in a similar...
Fluid?
All similar tier. They're Brew's second tier is basically... Brew's got 3 tiers of NFL quarterbacks. Surefire future Hall of Famers, scrubs, and the rest of the league. That rest of the league thing is fluid, evidently.
I'll let you have your fun.
Top 10 quarterbacks, row 4. My guy, Matt Stafford, Baker Mayfield, who I think at this point has proven himself to be, I can't say consensus, but I think more people than not consider him a top 10 quarterback. Jared Goff, big year for Goff, and coach's guy, C.J. Stroud. Now to your top 6, the top 6 quarterbacks as we sit here today. Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and I will give Jaden Daniels the nod to that because while I think going into the year, Stafford is better than Jaden Daniels. I think Stafford, it's fair to assume, will get, is on the decline. And Jaden Daniels, it's fair to assume, is on the incline, ascent. Ascent is the way to put it.
Sure.
And so those guys would be close anyway. And then the top 3, to me, should be universal. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And then the best quarterback in football, the guy who's been to the last 3 Super Bowls, and again, for some reason, he is judged against the best version of himself, and all the other quarterbacks are judged against the worst version of Mahomes, who they can't beat him either, except for Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah, except for Jalen Hurts, right? The guy who then dominated, and because you only want to look at that when it's relevant to your own individual argument, and then you want to ignore it when it's inconvenient. Make it make sense. You can't, because it's nonsense. Wow. Talk about a mess. Talk about a mess. I'm trying to think how I can start doing this moving forward, because using the whole rich tapestry is just, I find it such nonsense. Because again, if we're talking about a rich tapestry, then Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be at the bottom. Aaron Rodgers, his last few years obviously haven't been great, and he's obviously on the decline, which is fair to say. But if we're talking about a Rich Tapestry, well, then he needs to be way higher. That's why Mahomes is all the way up there. And if you say, no, Patrick Mahomes has been winning. And it's like, okay, so then why isn't Jalen Hurts higher? Because Josh Allen hasn't been winning, and neither has Lamar Jackson. So which is it? What are the made-up rules? That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get after. Because under that logic, well, then Jayden Daniels should be higher. Jalen Hurts should be higher. Lamar should be lower. Burrow should be lower. Stafford should be higher. Goff should be higher. It's just like, it becomes anarchy, man. It becomes mayhem. And I'll have none of it. So it doesn't really make sense at all. So then if we're going to look at it more in a vacuum, and it's like, how have you actually been playing? Because realistically, what Patrick Mahomes did in 2018 and 2019 means absolutely positively nothing. Because then why isn't what Aaron Rodgers did in those years matter? Exactly. What about even what Stafford did in 21? Exactly. Then why wouldn't Baker's years when they were bad with the Browns matter? Exactly. So it's all a bunch of nonsense. That's how you get somehow Justin Herbert on the same level as Dak Prescott, which makes zero sense. It's how you have someone like Baker Mayfield above Justin Herbert, which makes zero sense. It's how you somehow have Joe Burrow below Patrick Mahomes. He shouldn't. What Joe Burrow did this past year in 24, was better than any season Patrick Mahomes individually has ever had. It's just a fact. And it's largely a statistical fact as well. Especially when you consider what he did. He had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Congrats. T. Higgins was gone for a third of the season. He had no run game and the worst O-line in football. The 32nd ranked O-line. I made the whole video unpacking that. He had a pass block win rate of 50%. So 50% of the time that he dropped back, that pocket closed in a snap of the fingers. And yet he still put up those cartoonish numbers. And if you want to point to other years, like, well, Patrick Mahomes, what he did in 2018 or what he did in 22, 2018, he obviously had great weapons and a top 6 O-line. And in 2022, he had one of the best O-lines with one of the best pass block win rates ever recorded. And we always want to pretend like those things don't matter. And they obviously do. Just like when we factor in Jalen Hurts has been great, but we factor in the team around him. So that's where I'm just saying, like, what is the conversation that we're having? You're going to put Michael Penix at the bottom row next to Justin Fields. Penix in 3 games showed his abilities and his talents and his ability to run an offense and make some high-level throws in ways that I've never seen Fields do. And McCarthy hasn't even played yet. Neither has Ward. So like that's actually just some disrespect. Bo Nix had one of the best rookie seasons we've seen. Had, what was it, second most passing touchdowns in rookie history for quarterbacks? I think it was second. And was like top 7, top 8. Again, I don't remember the numbers exactly right off the top of my head in terms of total touchdowns in the NFL, not rookie quarterbacks. Like now, just in 2024, and we're gonna act like that wasn't great. You're gonna put him on that bottom row, or the second to last row. Excuse me. Like how does that make sense? I don't know. This is like looking at this right now, especially with like no recent games to really go off of. It's like, well, then now we have the whole season to go off of. And again, we just want to pick and choose when we want that season to matter. And if you want to keep using it, because if you want to keep defending that Patrick Mahomes should be at the top because, like, let's just use the last 3 years immediately as a reference point, it's like, well, Mahomes was great in 22, not great in 23, not great in 24. But okay, but they still won games. It's like, okay. Well, so then Jalen Hurts needs to be high because he went to 2 Super Bowls. They won those games. Like that's where it just and again if we're gonna look at 22, then why not 21 and why not 20 and onward and onward and onward? Because then if you want to say, well, Jane Daniels was great rookie year, but not so great second year, but he's still going to be up above here, it's like, okay, well then what about what Justin Herbert did his rookie year? What about what Stafford's been doing recently over the last couple of years? Well, there's injuries, team. It's like, well, okay, but then what about Joe Burrow's defense? Like it just continues to just get more and more insane, honestly. And it, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Josh Allen clearly has been better than Patrick Mahomes. He clearly has. Lamar Jackson has been. So has Joe Burrow. Like that alone. And that's why I kind of keep going in these circles where it's like the only way you can defend it is then win-loss record. And if that's the case, well then Jalen Hurts has to be at the top. So I know that's not the case that Nick is viewing it through. So it's just, I don't know, man. I'll probably just leave it at that rather than really make this a much longer video and really try to move everyone around, because I've just been looking at things through such a strict logical lens in terms of like what's the logic and how are we getting to these conclusions, especially when we don't have these games to go off of. And what I like to do with the Mountain is try to play the game in terms of, oh, it's a rich tapestry, and then rearrange the Mountain based on how everyone is playing week to week. That makes so much more sense to me. That makes it so much more interesting than me. Than just this, well, it's just because. It's like, I'm like, what? How does that make sense? So, I mean, in the previous segment, Nick said that he would put Stafford top 5 quarterback, that he would pick Stafford over Jalen Hurts to start a franchise. And yet here we are. So, I don't know. It's messy to me. Yeah. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Hurts' Himalaya and the quarterback rankings and tiers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.